It's 7 p.m., so we'll call the meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West, held in council chambers at 216 Main Street, Swan River, Manitoba, this 25th day of March 2025 at 7 p.m. Present this evening, Reeve, Gade, Councillors Burick, Zbirun, Neely, Kushniryk, McGregor, and Blosha. Our CEO, Kristi, Ronnquist is here. Our videographer, Jeremy R Bergen, is here. And we have folks joining us in the gallery, both in person and electronically tonight. We'll jump into the agenda at number 2. Be it resolved, the agenda for the regular meeting of council held this 25th day of March 2025 shall be adopted as presented. Is there someone to move the resolution? We'll take Councillor Kushniryk and Councillor Neely to second it. Any discussion or additions? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question on the resolution. Those in favor? That's carried. Item 3, adopting the minutes. Be it resolved, the minutes of the regular council meeting held March 11th, 2025 be adopted as presented. Is there a mover? I see Councillor Zbirun and Councillor Burick. Copy of the minutes is attached to the agenda. Does anyone have any errors or omissions? Has everyone looked at them? I guess is the first question. Okay. Any changes to note? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? It's carried. We do not have a public works report tonight, but we can talk about that a bit in camera for HR. We do have a delegation scheduled for 7:10, so we'll come back to that when we get there. We'll go to number 8, financial items, general checks. Be it resolved, the council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. General checks number 20394 to 20415, the amount is $351,979.67. Does someone care to move the resolution? Councillor Neely. Big spender. Who would like to second? There we go.
Nervous.
Councillor McGregor. Have a copy of the checks and the invoices here. Who has questions? Councillor Blosha.
20395, 20401, last year's budget.
So it's going to be pulled forward into this year's budget, but we can't spend last year's money anymore. So that's
all we're crushing then?
Well, remember we talked at budget night, we were going to pull money forward from last year's surplus to increase the crushing for this year. So that'll be to cover this.
Okay, and 20399, it's a small one, but what is that for?
That is the training course I took in the fall that we forgot to pay for.
Okay.
Who else has questions? Councillor Burick.
How many yards crushing do you do then?
Let's go take a peek. I'll read
Maybe
it
close to
officially.
40,000.
That's what I thought you said. 40, 45.
40,000 for sure. Well, 22 with Campbell, gotta be close to
Cook invoices for 16,000.
16,000, okay.
38,000.
The Campbell invoice is for,
22 it says here.
yeah.
22?
But that was the second portion. So the first portion was paid last year already in December. Yeah.
Oh, so how much have we got stockpiled?
So I believe we have 35 in the one pit and 16 in the other.
Oh,
Campbell's is traveling north next to do 10 in Birch River.
Birch River pit. That's
So
for,
we have about 61,000 then by the end of the day.
The only thing I'm not clear on, I know there's at least 35. I know we have 5,000 of inch and a half. I don't know if that's in the 35 or additional to the 35. I
Oh,
haven't got clarity on that yet.
so there could be a possibility of more then, eh?
Could be a little more, but I would just count it at 35 until we know for sure.
Okay.
I got one.
last year we put down 50.
We did.
We got 60, we should be good.
We should be, hopefully we have some left over.
Yeah.
And we have to start on next year already.
Worst
we
thing,
ran out last year, right?
We did.
We ran
worst
out.
thing is to run out.
Some roads in Ward 6 didn't get done.
Oh, come on. All your words go.
Councillor Blosha.
20406, all landfill? For March or?
Is it $5,000?
No,
Nine.
Oh.
9,549.
So it is Benito landfill for November 9th, February 21st, 25th, and 26th for $42.94. Then Benito landfill March 4th, 13th, 18th, and 19th for $42.67. And then 120 yards gravel applied to Road 202 North for $9.86.
That landfill thing, we're taking care of it, it's working.
We haven't done it the first time yet.
Oh,
But
I
we're
was in there
supposed to
the
be
other
doing it
day,
now.
like on Monday, and it looked like somebody sold
That
it.
was Mr. Barton.
Okay,
So
We're
this
supposed to be
is,
doing it the
kind
very
of-
next time ourselves.
okay.
He's using a bulldozer, is he?
He's using a little track thing. So we're gonna try it with the skid steer and see what happens.
so what was the first date on the
There's one on
5538,
there.
the 429497, what was the first
The
date?
first one is November 9th, it shows.
Oh, November, I thought you
November.
said February, and then
And then
a
it's February
week
21,
later.
25, and 26.
It goes from November to,
Yeah, there's, I don't know if you missed one in
February.
November or, because the whole thing is the February thing, but I think from what I understood from Mr. Barker, he didn't do it for a couple months in the winter because there was so much snow and ice.
oh,
And so then probably he had the November 9th and had to build it. And then came back in February. Do you want, I've got the thing, do you want to take a peek at it? So I know he went without being there for a while because of the weather.
what do they have to do, just put a layer on top each time?
Basically push it all in, hopefully pack it as much as we can, you know, run over it once or twice and put a layer of something over top. When
He
we
uses
use
sand. He
We
uses
used to get
like,
that stuff from out
he uses
didn't we?
like 420, he uses 80 yards of sand every time.
We were discussing a little bit if we could use pitman from Alpines. You know, rather than purchasing sand. It doesn't even have to be good pitman, right? The
No.
scrapings on
Yeah.
of Alpine
Yeah.
would be perfectly good to use for that.
So where's he getting this sand from?
I don't know where it comes from.
He brings it in?
He brings it in. A lot of the money in there is also the
Yeah.
sand that they're bringing it. Yes.
One more,
You were away one meeting, you're
I
making
know.
up for it, girl.
24, 20411. Whose is that?
Yes, Benito Fire bought a laptop. So they
Yeah.
bought one once before, we thought, but they didn't actually. So as it turned out, they had got a quote from Mervs, but the quote from Mervs says invoice at the top. So they sent it in here as a quote, so we promptly paid it because it said invoice. And then when they're asking, well, we need a laptop, we said, well, we bought you a laptop. We have the receipt for it, but they'd never actually gone and got it. So Mervs has refunded the money. And then laptop was $1,200, which is quite a laptop. From what I understand, my direction to them was to not seek a quote from 83 North. But I don't know if they sought any other quotes. Because even, you know, like Shopping Oak was great, but Best Buy for that laptop would have been about $700.
Okay, that's all I got, I think.
Did you get the check back that was out?
Yeah, put it here for you.
Okay, no, perfect. Okay, nothing further? All right, we'll call the question of the resolution. Those in favor? That's carried. Let's go to 9.1 under discussion, appointment of tax sale manager. This is a request from tax service. We've already appointed the firm, but they're wanting us to do this because they've had some change in officers there. Be it resolved that pursuant to resolution number 2025108 of the Municipality of Swan Valley West, Tax Service Inc. be appointed to manage property tax arrears recovery for the Municipality of Swan Valley West. Be it further resolved that pursuant to resolution number 2025108 of the Municipality of Swan Valley West, the following individuals be appointed tax sale managers for the Municipality of Swan Valley West: Donna Zinke, Vice President of Tax Service Inc., or Tyler Burnside, Associate of Tax Service Inc. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Blosha, someone to second it. Councillor Kushniryk. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. We'll do one more before we go to our delegation. Take a peek at 9.2. This is for council's information. I've asked staff to begin bringing us a monthly building permit summary, so we see what permits are being issued in the municipality, just for information's sake. So this is attached, there's one permit on this report for an estimated value of $900,000 for a home. We're just trying to start doing that every month now, just to keep us up to date on what's happening. It is 7:10, so we'll break away from the main agenda and head to delegations. Colton Barteski is here tonight. He is come to share some information with council, so welcome to the table. It's good to have you.
May I have a seat?
Absolutely.
So, I'm the owner of Iron Bros Demolition and Landscaping, and I have a 26G John Deere excavator. It is about 3.5 tons. I have a gravel truck, and I also have a D4 bulldozer. And I'm looking into getting a bigger hoe and a truck and trailer right now. And I also have an acreage where we do our work. We can take everything there that is legal to burn, and we'll burn it there and dispose of it. And the stuff that we can't, we can take to the garbage dump and do there. Last year I've done about 7 jobs or so, 7 or 8 I think. And we tore down buildings and landscape yards, all that stuff. So if you guys have any work for me, I would be happy to do anything.
Okay. Do you have pricing you can share with the office so we have it on file?
About $60 an hour.
Okay. Folks have questions for him, discussion of what he can and can't do. It's always good to know what we have around for contractors.
Obviously, you're fully insured and stuff like this, right?
Yes. Yes, of course. Yes, sir. I have a co-owner as well. He has 3 mini hoes, and he was unable to come today. He is also looking into getting a brand new gravel truck set up.
So, how big are the gravel trucks?
How big is that, sir?
How big is the gravel truck? How many yards is that?
How many years?
Is it tandem or is it?
Hi, I'm Dean Barteski. It's only a 3-ton gravel truck.
3 tons.
About 3 yards. We've just been only using it to haul rubble and things
Yeah.
like that, but if you were hauling gravel, it would be about 3 yards.
Okay. Excellent. So Kristi will probably firm up that pricing just in writing so we have it.
Okay, sure.
We usually keep a list of contractors for everyone that's around. We don't promise work, but we try to kind of rotate around when we need something, right? So everybody gets a share of something, especially for anyone that's in Swan Valley West, right? So it kind of makes sense.
Matt Wills is currently building him a 48-inch clean-out bucket,
Nice.
for snow or culverts.
Yeah.
If there's any work around Kenville, he's more than willing to do it for you guys, or Benito.
So I'm curious, I don't know if anyone else is, what part, like if we were to tear down a house, how much of that could be burned by you? Because we can't burn any of it.
Yeah,
But you can.
We can burn all of the wood, most of it, I'd say like 80% of the house.
Do you have to segregate parts of it, or like the shingles or nothing like that, or it all gets burned?
No, it's
No.
on private property. In fact, the RM, when they were doing tree removal around Kenville this year, I told them to take everything to our pit there and save them a little bit of running around. McCormick's house in Kenville, Colton removed that last year in a job, like there was a lot of rubble in that yard. It was about 9 hours. So, it was pretty reasonable price. We didn't stand around with a rake and clean up afterwards. Joe did that, but he's got a hydraulic thumb on the hoe, and it does a lot of work. Trenching, things like that, it's capable of about 9 feet deep.
Is that a mini hole, dude?
It would be classed as a mini hoe still because it's about 3.5 ton. It's the
so
John Deere 26G.
I wish I had one of them.
Oh yeah, they're sweet.
It's by far the handiest piece of equipment that either of us have ever owned, so. But he's looking at probably a 200 or 240 John Deere with a low bed and truck, if there's enough work to justify it. I think there should be, but.
You live right in Kenville, Colton?
Yep, right in Kendall, on the east side there.
Okay.
There's certainly, there's a notice in the paper that comes out today, there's a notice of tender, just a general notice of tender that we're going to be seeking some quotes on demolition.
Okay.
And it basically says, watch the website or talk to us, so we email you the requests. So we'll make sure we get you on that list too.
Okay, perfect.
What we found works best is to knock everything down with the bulldozer and pick it up with that thumb and put it in the truck and go. It works really well that way. and he could only run one piece of equipment at a time, so whether the bulldozer, truck, or hoe are sitting there, it's the same rate.
Okay.
Of course, when he buys the bigger equipment, you'll have to
Change,
adjust the
yep.
rate.
Put a 1 in front of the figure. You have to put a 1 in front of that figure.
I don't know, we rented, we had guys from Ready Mix come out, or Cement Brothers, and they're charging $2.50 an hour for that hoe of theirs. But we couldn't reach quite as deep as he could. Yeah.
Does anyone else have questions for Mr. Barteski? All right. Anything else you have to share?
I do not have anything else, no. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes.
It shows good on you that you're trying to get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
You guys are welcome to stay and watch if you like. It does get boring.
No, not, the tariff doesn't bother them.
No. See you later.
Yeah, see you, Dean. See you, Colin. Yeah.
Let's head to 9-3 Ukrainian Catholic Parish Hall. We've received a letter of request from the Ukrainian Catholic Parish Hall in Benito, signed by Helen Hominick. They're wondering about support from the municipality, like we support some other halls. It's indicated in the letter that they have a limited number of members in the parish now, a small community. The hall is open for use by all members of the community. Be used for multiple reasons, such as adult Ukrainian dancing practice, socials, family reunions, showers, dances, suppers, and meetings. Community members are able to rent the kitchen and hall for their needs at a small cost. They're in need of some repairs and upgrades to the hall kitchen inside and out. Kitchen needs 2 windows, an entrance door, some siding on the outside. Quote for the job is $54,3375. They've been fundraising, would like to apply for other community grants and funding, and they would surely appreciate the council's support in this endeavor. So what are the thoughts of council? Do you want to entertain doing something for that hall?
Well, they're also asking us if they want a letter of support so that they can actually apply, for sure. And then, yeah, we give to the Durbin Hall, we give to the other halls, why couldn't we just add them onto the list?
We certainly could. You stole the words out of Mr. Neely's mouth.
Finally.
What are the thoughts from other council members?
Yes.
You're men of many words. So, quick peek at my paper version of the interim budget. Durbin, Big Woody, Lavender all receive $2,000 a year. Are we suggesting $2,000 a year for this hall? And are we suggesting as a one-time gift, or are we suggesting this is adding it to the hall list permanently?
I don't see a problem with 2,000 per year, but other halls we've also given little bits for renos and stuff. I don't think, have they ever asked us for anything?
No, but it's also not, it's different than
It's
our
not
other.
exactly owned by
It's
us.
different than our other halls, so
Yeah.
it's not the same as
Yeah.
adding it to
I
the
I think this
list.
one is owned by the.
I didn't
by
know
the
how to
church.
say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the same as the other halls, but I think a one-time of this would be fair,
Well, to get their repairs done or something, you know.
yeah,
So I'm hearing one-time donation of $2,000.
yeah.
That's suitable for the group. Anyone wish to argue against it?
Okay, Benito, get your hands up here, you look good then.
And a letter of support so they can
Yes.
apply for the rent.
Be resolved, the municipality of Swan Valley West provide a one-time donation of $2,000 towards the Ukrainian Catholic Parish Hall and provide a letter of support for the renovation project. Is there someone to move the resolution? I see Councillor Blosha and I see Councillor McGregor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. 9-4, grader option. Some pictures here. The reason we're showing these pictures, I know we kind of decided we weren't buying a grader. But these were sent to me by the John Deere rep. I think we've lost the part where it says what it was. 239?
It's a No, 259, 2018, 870 with just about 7,000 on it?
Yeah, 6,000 hours. The picture's here with the hours on it.
Okay.
So they're showing us, this is an RM trade-in that they've received. So they're saying, hey, here's what kind of graders we can get used for you. So yeah, it's 69.73 hours, basically 7,000 hours on it. But just for council's information, we will see it tonight. Do we want any discussion further on graders?
I think we discussed it already, didn't
We did.
we? Yeah.
9.5, dust control. So this is a draft version of the 2025 dust control agreement for us to discuss tonight. We'll spend a few minutes on the front, then more minutes on the back. So we're suggesting, we don't have our quotes in, but we're suggesting keeping the price at $550 for 500 feet. The form provides the option of 250 feet, and it's basically just half the price. Are we good with that? Do we want the 250 feet to be a little bit more money to encourage you to buy the 500? I was thinking 300 for 250 feet, just to, we're going through the pain of doing it all. Okay, so we'll revise that to 300 for 250. I see one thing on the bottom here, the payment date needs to be changed, but we'll catch that after. People have generally been concerned of doing this too late. Is council agreeable that we try to have the deadline in April? So this could be applied for early, like mid-May, rather than getting into first week of June this year? Or do we like it in the first week of June?
Do we have our own outfit to do some calcium applications or no?
So we have the big spreader, so it can spread calcium.
Just I was wondering about the Pioneer, because that should be done as soon as it dries, like, because that, if we wait till beginning of June while seeding's done, like it should be done. No, that's fine, that's,
We got the sand spreader, that's what they use, and then they got the water tank and stuff.
No,
Well, you still have your walk behind, don't you?
I do.
well, Bill
But
was
I'm
out
hoping
there.
this year we're going to use the spreader.
Our Reeve was out there at 2
That's only
o'clock.
after midnight though.
Our Reeve was out there at 2 o'clock in the morning one morning, I think, he was spreading calcium.
It was a good time. There wasn't much
Quiet,
traffic.
very quiet. No, that's good, no, that's fine.
So we do have, I don't know if we have any, I think we've used all of it, but we just bought a pallet of the bags last year to do spots. So we'll just buy another pallet of that,
Buy
throw
it
some of
from
the
the
spreader.
Tire store or,
Yeah.
yeah.
We got Cal Tire, they gave us a little deal if we bought a whole skid. There is a place out of Calgary that sells it in the mini bulk bags, which is cheaper, but you have to buy more than one to make it worthwhile, right? So I don't know that we're in to do that much. I've certainly been tempted to pitch that we buy a bunch of it and, try it on some heavy traffic roads at like 25% rate, just to see if we keep the gravel on,
Pack it a little better.
just because it,
Yeah, pack
Is
it,
it-
it's nice.
yeah, because anytime you see the dust coming off, we're also losing the rest of it, right? Because
Yeah.
once the dust is gone, then the rock goes. So it might be, in time, cheaper to do that than it is to keep putting gravel on there every single year. But we'll have to keep discussing.
Another question, all the people that had calcium last year, are they gonna get a letter or something?
Last year we phoned anyone we didn't hear from, just to make sure. And we probably have enough resources to phone them again, just to say, hey,
Okay, as long as they're called, because there's gonna be a due date, probably a due date, and after that,
right.
yeah. Yeah,
So then part 2 is the back of the page, where it has a list of haul roads where you receive 50% of the 500 feet. So every year, without fail, I've been here, this will be my 7th year of this. We look at this, we agree to it, and usually 2 weeks later, we're back here making changes to it. So if everyone could have a look at this again, are we satisfied with this list in a way that we won't be back here in 2 weeks making changes?
Do we need to put any down by the municipality well?
We sometimes put a little there, we have, I don't think it's on the list though.
No, it's not on the list.
No, we're on that road anyway, already doing the intersection.
Yeah, just down from it.
What if we do that stretch what you wanna do? see how it retains gravel. We do that one ourselves. We could run that stretch right through
Yeah.
there. Cause it does see a lot of traffic
It does.
So you suggesting spray it with this stuff or do it with granular?
with ours
Granular?
and see how it works and if it
Mhm.
saves gravel.
Okay.
Kind of a meet in the middle.
Yeah,
But we don't have to add it to this list,
no,
actually.
No, it's
We'll
just our
still do
own
it as a
trial
Yeah.
test run.
okay,
Okay, can I ask one question?
sure.
Pioneer, I understand, didn't they pay the whole shot? Wasn't 50/50? They paid the whole shot, but they're not on here, are they?
I'm not aware of us billing them.
Pardon me?
I'm not aware of us billing them,
No. Well, I thought, who, we covered the cost then?
as far as I know.
Okay, but it's not
I don't
on,
invoice people. I don't see every invoice that leaves the office,
okay, but,
but I'm not aware of us having sent an invoice, and I just have a suspicion if I didn't stand in the office and say, make sure to bill them, there's a good chance they didn't get billed.
because years ago I spoke, I don't know who I spoke to now, probably he's not there anymore, but just said send him the bill.
Which I get that, but at the same time, I see their tax invoice.
Yeah,
When your
well,
when your tax bill is that high, you kinda wonder why you pay for dust control. Why that wouldn't just be complimentary as a thank you for building your elevator.
Well, the
No,
thing
but I
is-
just don't,
the thing is, the dust's not bothering them, it's the residents.
I don't see it on the list here though, is it? There's 218 on here, but that's from 5
I
to 8,
don't,
number 10.
I don't know that it's ever been on this list.
Okay.
It's always been done, but I don't know it's
Okay.
on the list.
Okay, as long as there's an understanding that it gets done, because the lead hand might look at that and say it's not on the list.
Okay. Anything else? So our next meeting's in 2 weeks. I'm sure we'll be making changes to it then.
No.
Let's move to 9/6. Swan Valley West is next up for hosting the G4 meeting. So we're curious, council's thoughts on when a date for that should be that, most of the councils are fairly rural and putting it in the middle of seating would be pretty silly to get attendance. So what are we thinking for dates?
It's
When does it have to
June
be,
sometime.
when does it have to be, oh, is it quarterly?
Well, it's supposed to be quarterly, so the date was supposed to be the first week of April, but the other one got so late, it doesn't make much sense. So I would suggest that late June, somewhere in
That's
there,
right.
if we thought
Yeah.
that would work for farmers.
Yeah.
Like, sometime after crop insurance cutoff date, right?
Right.
So there's some chance that people are done seeding, hopefully. We don't wanna go too late, but, something like June 23rd, June 16th, somewhere in there. Would that be agreeable to
good.
folks?
Yeah,
Anybody see a problem with either of those dates? So what we'll do is we'll circulate those two dates to the other councils and see if they have any problems with them, and then we'll pick something. We will go to number 12, committee reports, and we will start with Councillor McGregor.
Attended a library meeting last night. I think two things worth noting. One was, they had hosted a stained glass construction class, and it was hosted by Donna Jean. I think it's worth noting that the people that came to this class paid $60 a piece for the class. And she did 6 classes with 6 people and 7 in the last one. So with only under $300 worth of cost, and all that money went towards the library, so I think it's worth mentioning. It's a pretty good fundraiser for a library. The other thing worth mentioning was computers. Finally got something done there, which I will let Reeve explain because he knows a little bit more about computers than I do.
No.
Yeah. So that was it. It was a library meeting last night.
Councillor Neely.
Nothing to report.
Councillor Zbirun.
I
Really nice supper?
yeah, I went to budget meeting here.
Well, the budget, yeah. A little thing like that, and I forgot
I
it.
had a watershed meeting, their monthly meeting, and I sat in the interview with the lead hand, and that's all I did.
you were here too?
Yeah, I forgot that too.
Yeah.
That's why I go off the.
I thought we were talking about outside stuff.
Councillor Burick.
No committee meetings, I just attended the interview with with the lead hand, and most of council was invited to come, so that's it.
Councillor Blosha.
no committee reports, but I did attend the budget meeting as well.
Councillor Kushniryk.
Same stuff, plus the LUD, just finalizing budget stuff, and that's about it.
So I too attended the library meeting last night. They did purchase some computers, so staff computers, which are fairly gray now. They're 12 or 13 years old. Some of them are taking now 5 to 6 minutes to get to go where they need to go. Just because they're so old. So they purchased some new computers. Some of that money came from community foundations through a grant, and some of this budget money. So kind of shared on that a little bit. Also of note at the library, if you're missing your knife, the library has found your knife. About yay big. Found in the washroom where someone took it out of their pants and then forgot to pick it up because they were too high. So that's currently in custody of the RCMP. Just go down to the detachment and claim your knife. They would like to speak to the person who left it at the library. So the library staff are a little upset, as you can imagine, that that's coming into the library. The library had a discussion last night about Bonito library hours. So, as you know, we've been following the sake of the budget changes to the library, making things right size and spending money on programming instead of just on 4 staff at the same time. So programming is going very well. We've done stained glass, they've done a bunch of little workshops, and that's been very well received by people. But there were some cuts to hours of staff in Swan River to accomplish the goal of not having 4 people there at the same time, which has been a little rough on some people. They were quite concerned that Bonito's hours are so expensive and weren't cut. So the board did discuss the fact that Bonito takes only about 25% of the cost per hour of Swan River to operate the library. And that essentially that's just simply the hours they can have because they only have 1 person on at a time. So there's no changes coming to the Bonito library hours at this time. It'll stay open. They have been having a little trouble getting enough children for some of the programming there. So you know, it's always a good reminder to folks that's weekly programming there, sometimes a couple times a week, depending on what it is. So if you know some kids in the video area, try and get them interested. Earlier in the day yesterday, I took our new lead hand for a tour of the municipality. So we attended all municipal properties to view every shop, every piece, do a basic overview of the entire process of what happens here. And then he's been doing some more training today as well. On Thursday, the 20th of March, our plumber was able to attend and correct the problem at the well site in Bonito that council has been aware of. So it is now operating in automatic mode again. It no longer needs daily babysitting by anyone to produce water, and that's been going well. We did have that special meeting back on Wednesday, which is what all the rest of council alluded to. Immediately before that meeting, there was an emergency heads of council meeting held in the valley with everyone except the mayor attending to resolve the issues of the mutual aid agreement for the fire departments, which has been going on for far too long. There had been a flame mail come out from one municipality, followed up by a flame mail from a different municipality, and things seem to be spiraling out of control there. As far as I know, following that meeting of the heads of council, calmer heads have prevailed. A mutual aid agreement has been agreed to by all parties. It will come here, but part of our conditions of agreeing was that we weren't wasting our time until the other ones passed it first. So once we see the 2 warring municipalities pass the agreement, it will come to fire board, it will come to here for final approval, but there's no point approving it yet again, only to have more changes made. Otherwise, I've been fairly busy with the water in Bonito, as we discussed before, but that's been taken care of finally. The Chamber of Commerce is moments away from launching their Shop Local campaign. That starts on the 2nd of April. So I've been doing some work for them, just making sure everybody knows about it and getting all that ready, which is also Tariff Day now. So not only will Canada catch some more tariffs that day, we'll also have another reason to shop local. So I think it'll be exciting next week to see how that goes forward. Earlier today, Council did take a field trip to look at our Swan River shop facility, so we all attended that prior to the meeting, which is why we were a little tardy in getting here. We're eating supper around the table, but we did take a tour of the shop just to see how things fit and where we're going with that to try and keep up to date on what's going on. But that is my report for this evening. Does anyone have any questions, comments, back and forth before we move on?
That well problem, that was from the freezing that time, wasn't it?
It originally started as that, and then it's the pressure switch had froze solid, and ever since then has been very slowly dripping. So it was on our list of we should replace this, but the dripping eventually caused enough corrosion it broke. So then it became a replace this right now moment. For interest's sake, we used to always call a place out of Winnipeg to do those repairs. That was $3,000 of mileage to have them attend plus the repair. So this repair and the last couple repairs, we've used a local plumber. We have one that's trained up on waterworks that size. So rather than getting someone from Winnipeg, we're just using a local guy. We pay mileage from Swan River. You can't beat it. Like it's night and day difference in what it costs to fix something. So they wrote that initial freeze. They came and helped us with that. We were back for this. So I'm happy because we saved $6,000 between the two trips.
What are you gonna do now with all your spare time?
I was thinking of having a nap.
Byron wanted one
Well,
after something.
12 minutes, that's all he allowed me.
Anything further tonight before we go in camera? I hate to say it, I know we're quick, but we've been at this already for a couple hours because we've been other places, so the meeting agenda is pretty short tonight because of that. If not, we're going to take a short break, I think. Folks still want to go outside before we go in camera?
Yeah, short one.
Okay, so we'll take a short break.
12 minutes.
We'll come back in a few minutes and we'll be going in camera. Tonight we'll be discussing some personnel matters. We have some applications to review. We also have some concerns for the Benito area. And no doubt there'll be a little discussion of enforcements of an actor bylaw. We will be recessed until then.
Okay.
We'll move to 13.1. Be it resolved that pursuant to section 1523, the Municipal Act Council shall meet as a committee to hold a closed meeting and continue discussions in camera regarding personnel matters, negotiations, preliminary discussions, investigations or enforcement of an actor bylaw and security of armed documents and property. Is there someone to move the resolution, Councillor Neely, and to second the resolution? Councillor Blosha. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favour? That's carried. 13.7, resolutions arising from in-camera discussions. Does anyone have anything to bring forward tonight? Number 14, notice of motion. Do we have any notices of motion tonight? Hearing nothing, be it resolved this meeting shall now resolve at 8:38 p.m.
My turn.
Be it further resolved the next meeting is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. So could we...
Gary was first.
Gary's first,
Yeah,
so
I'll
Councillor
give it
Blosha
over.
first, and then
I
Councillor
didn't want to
Neely.
get too premature.
Man, you two, you know, you.
Those in
Gotta have
favour?
Gotta have some fun at the meeting.
That's carried.